Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit activeday.com to apply.
At Arizona State University, we've made online education better, smarter, and more personalized so you can go further in your aspiring field.
I decided to pursue medicine once I realized that ASU did have the online program for biological sciences. You're still required to learn the same curriculum. You're still being tested on the same content that anyone would be tested on in person. The comprehensiveness of the program prepared me so well for medical school.
Explore over 300 programs at asuonline.asu.edu.
Get ready to dive deep into one of the most gripping legal battles of our time. I'm your host, Jim Chapman, and today we're unraveling the high-stakes drama surrounding one of the music industry's most enigmatic figures, Sean Diddy Combs. In a case that has captivated millions, the courtroom has become a battleground for fame, fortune, and the dark secrets that lurk beneath the glittering surface of celebrity life. As the gavel comes down, we'll explore the allegations, the testimonies, and the shocking twists that could change the course of Diddy's legacy forever. Was this case merely a clash of lifestyles or something much more sinister? With each episode, I will bring you exclusive insights, analysis, and witness testimony accounts that will leave you on the edge of your seat. So buckle up as we embark on this thrilling ride through the trial of the century, where the stakes are high, the drama is real, and the truth is anything but certain. This is the trial of Sean Combs. Let's get started. Welcome back, and a quick catch up on what occurred with the testimony for Friday, June 13th, before we get into Monday's testimony. Andre Lamond, a Department of Homeland Security investigator who led the search of Diddy's vast home in Los Angeles last year, said agents found 900 bottles of Astroglide, 200 bottles of baby oil, and a large cache of weapons, including AR-15 style firearms, Smith & Wesson rifles, and even a Ruger rifle. Jonathan Perez, one of Diddy's former personal assistants, he recounted finding a video of a freak-off featuring Diddy's ex-girlfriend Jane on the company iPad. Perez said Diddy kept cash, cocaine, ketamine, Adderall, Xanax, and Molly in a Gucci pouch and referred to it as a must-have pouch for king nights that Diddy spent in hotels with women. Perez, under cross-examination from defense lawyer Brian Steele, said Jane appeared to be a willing participant in those king nights, and Perez agreed with Steele that those nights took place on Diddy's personal time outside of work. And what the defense was doing here was they were attempting to complicate the government's allegation that Diddy used professional resources to run a criminal enterprise, the whole RICO charge. If he did all this on his personal time, it's it's hard to accuse him of RICO. So at that point, court was adjourned for the weekend, and it was picked up on Monday, June 16th, and just prior to calling the next witness, the prosecutors did state that they only have 5 witnesses left before they rest their case. So it's moving along, folks. In what I'm going to term as a total shock, just as the news broke that juror number 6 was dismissed, which I told you about in detail in yesterday's drop, the judge mentioned there may also be an issue with yet another juror. Now, he did state it's totally unrelated to juror number 6, so we'll wait and we'll see how that shakes out. But in the meantime, Ananya Sankar is called to the stand by prosecutors. Now, Anya is a paralegal specialist at the U.S. Attorney General's office for the Southern District of New York, and she testified that she reviewed the accuracy of government charts that summarize exhibits. She said she reviewed hundreds and hundreds of pages of documents that included text messages, call logs, audio files, videos, and images. And y'all, she's what's known as a summary witness, which is a government employee that's used by the prosecution to submit summary charts into evidence in an attempt to make things more clear, if you will. Now, these charts are meant to show the jury text messages and other information that have not been discussed in testimony but were submitted into evidence. And she then read some messages from a chart that was dated December 29th, 2019. Quote, LOL, think I saw one of them cowboys today. You can spot them in the lobby, like an escort. I forgot to tell you about it. This was a text from Lopez to Khorram. Khorram texted back 4 laughing face emojis and said, by the way, how long is he going to stay away? Lopez responded, LOL, I'm guessing until tomorrow night. And keep this in mind, 2 women who had dated Combs testified against him in this trial, Cassie and Jane, and they had both testified she and Combs used a service called Cowboys and Angels to find escorts for free calls, which is the obvious thing that these texts seem to be referring to right now. The jury was then shown text messages between several Diddy assistants and Khorram about planning for a hotel night with Combs and Cassie Ventura in March of 2016. In one message, they discuss adding the name of an escort to the hotel room file. Khorram and other assistants to Combs then discuss getting $4,000 to the hotel in cash. In another exchange, Khorram tells an assistant, heads up, he's probably about to do a wild king night tonight. The assistant, Dave Shirley, who did not testify at this trial, wrote in response, quote, shit, need to re-up on that baby oil and shit. In another message, Khorram texted Ventura directly, quote, hi, Dave is at your door with the green, unquote. The jury was then shown text messages between Diddy and Kristina Khorram on November 14th of 2021. Combs asked Khorram if the room was ready and said he didn't want the hotel to know it was him to avoid any, what he termed, unneeded charges. Khorram responded that Combs should wait to go into the room until after Jane and Joey got there. Now, Combs' former assistant, Jonathan Perez, he previously testified that another one of Combs' assistants was named Joey, so we know that's who is referred to here. After Combs was in the room, Khorram texted him, hotel called, Paul coming up. And keep in mind that Jane previously testified she and Combs would often have hotel nights with a man named Paul. The jury was then shown messages that Kristina Khorram sent to Jane and Combs between February 12th and 14th of 2022 discussing a hotel room. One of Khorram's messages said in part, your damage charges on the one hotel are always high. Khorram later sent a message to Jane telling her, quote, ask them if they can bring like 15 bath towels up. Whew, wonder what happened there. Jane texted Khorram saying that Combs always brought cash and asking if his security could bring around $5,000 to $10,000. Khorram later texted Combs saying, quote, Jane asked if you could bring $5,000 to $10,000 cash. It's all in your safe. And the jury then continued to review text. In one message thread from December of 2021 between Combs and Khorram, they discuss a package that Guido eventually drops off and Khorram deals with. Khorram also confirms in the thread that she's working on setting up a hotel room that Combs requested. In another thread, Fahim Muhammad, Combs' head of security, gets approval to pay Guido for thousands of dollars in drugs. One text references flour, which had been established at the trial to be a reference to marijuana. Now, that thread included Combs, Khorram, Combs' accountant, and Muhammad. The jury then saw messages between Kristina Khorram, Combs, and one of his security guards, Fahim Muhammad, and it said, quote, "Puff, can you text File what you need him to pick up before his flight to Miami?" unquote, and that was from Khorram. Combs responded that he had already told her he wanted Molly 15 pills. The jury then saw a message Muhammad sent to Combs, Khorram, and Combs' account manager. This was in April of 2023, and it said, quote, "Just gave $5,000 to Brendan for hotel." And that was from Muhammad. The jury then saw messages between Kristina Khorram and Cassie Ventura from May of 2017. Ventura texted Khorram, "WTF?" And then Khorram asked, "Are you okay?" Ventura responded, "No, but you should talk to him. No one deserves to be dragged by their hair, and I locked the door for my safety," she went on to say. She added she didn't have any of her belongings or any money. So Khorram responded to that text saying she would talk to Combs and help Ventura get her stuff. The jury then listened to two recordings, which the prosecution said were found on Kristina Khorram's devices. These recordings were phone calls between Diddy and his then-girlfriend Jane days after Cassie Ventura's lawsuit was filed in November of 2023. The jury first heard the recorded calls during Jane's direct testimony, and I mentioned that to you just a few days ago. The messages came after Ventura's lawsuit in which Ventura accused Combs of rape and physical abuse. In the calls, which Jane testified she didn't know were recorded, Jane and Combs were talking about that lawsuit. The jury also saw photos the prosecution said were recovered from Khorram's device that showed messages on another phone. They were basically screenshots. The photos were taken on December 28th of 2023. Quote, "I don't believe the lovey-dovey stuff. You don't need to go there for me. I was confused and couldn't concentrate for 3 years and feel extremely exploited, heartbroken, and manipulated by you. You're the only opportunist here. You exploited the fuck out of me. You win. 3 years of being used, and you had 3 years of fun with my body." And in previous testimony, Jane testified she sent those messages to Combs. A few hours after those photos were taken, Jane texted Khorram saying in part, quote, "He just threatened me about my sex tapes that he has of me on 2 phones. He said he would expose me and send them to my child's father." The jury then saw text messages between Kristina Khorram and Combs' assistant Brendan Paul. And in those messages, Paul keeps Khorram informed as he escorts Combs to Jane's house. In those texts, Khorram warned Paul that he might need king stuff, potentially. Then while Combs is with Jane, Paul tells Khorram, quote, "He's just going to go with the flow." Khorram said, "Laugh out loud," so basically he's lit, and Paul responded, "Laugh out loud isn't lit. Later, Paul texted her, "PD active now, running to Walmart now."
Jim, did you see what happened in Texas today?
Wait, before you tell me that, let me tell you what happened in New York.
It cannot be as crazy as the case I told you about yesterday in Louisiana.
You know what? We should do a podcast about it.
And with that, we did. Crime Wire Weekly covers the crime news headlines that have dominated the week.
We cover trending crimes from all over the country and even sprinkle in a few globally.
Crime Wire Weekly is available now wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Simply by searching Crime Wire Weekly or clicking the link in the description of this podcast. The jury is then shown more charts of messages, including messages involving Sean Combs, Mia, who we haven't heard about in a while, and Combs' former security guard Damian Butler, who goes by D-Rock.
Ready to make a real impact every day? Join the Active Day Home Care team and help clients maintain their independence in the comfort of their own homes. Make a difference in someone's life as you provide essential daily assistance and protect their health and happiness. Earn up to $20 an hour and enjoy additional perks like optional daily pay, 401k, paid time off, ongoing educational training, and more. Join a team that values care, compassion, and your professional growth. Visit ActiveDay.com to apply.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64,000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Hose. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethose.com/terms.
On November 19th of 2023, D-Rock texted Combs, quote, "Need to hear your voice, bro. Love you." Combs responded, "Thank you for checking on me. I really appreciate it. Love you." That exchange came days after Combs' former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, filed her lawsuit. Then on Thanksgiving Day of that year, Sean Combs' former security guard D-Rock wished Combs a happy Thanksgiving. He also told Combs, quote, "I feel I need to see you and chill with you for a couple of days. If you need a real friend, I'm here." Combs responded, quote, "Love you, calling you." D-Rock then texted Combs a few days later that he would see him the next day. The jury was then shown messages between D-Rock and Mia that were first shown during Mia's testimony. D-Rock texted Mia on November 30th of 2023 for the first time since 2021. He said, quote, "What's up?" And when she responded, he said, "A lot has been going on." The jury then saw a call recorded that day. Mia testified that she spoke with D-Rock that day, and he brought up Combs and Cassie Ventura's relationship. Records show that D-Rock sent Mia's phone number to Combs, who tried to call her. A few days after that, Combs texted D-Rock, quote, "Thank you again for coming and being here with me. Love you, brother." D-Rock texted Mia on December 5th of 2023, quote, "Your boy said to call him. He doesn't want or need you to do anything. He just called me." Then on February 22nd of 2024, D-Rock texted Mia, "Good morning. How are you doing? Did you ever speak to P? He called me a couple of days ago." Of course, he's talking about Puff. Then records in the summary chart showed D-Rock was in contact with Combs around this time as well. And the jury continued to see a series of 2023-2024 texts between Mia and Combs' security guard D-Rock. Picking up after the February 2024 text I described earlier, D-Rock sent more messages over a few days, with Mia telling him she was out of the country on a scuba diving trip. In one message, D-Rock said, quote, "Let me know how I can send you something." And Mia responded that her debt was her problem and she would figure it out one day. The records then showed D-Rock tried to get on the phone with Mia several times, and then he texted Combs, quote, "Hey bro, she hit me back. I'm trying to call her now." This was on February 4th of 2024. He also sent Combs a screenshot of the previous message Mia had sent him. Combs responded, "Let me know when you reach her." Later that day, Combs texted Mia, "Hey Mia, it's Puff. Let me know when you get 10 minutes to talk. Love." Over the following days, Combs tried to call Mia several times. Quote, "Hey, I don't want to be blowing up your phone. Just needed to talk to you for 10 minutes. Just need my memory jogged on some things. You were my right hand for years, so I just wanted to speak to you to remember who was even around me. And it would be good to hear your voice. But if you don't want to talk, all good, just let me know. Love, hope you're well." This message was texted from Combs on February 7th of 2024. The same day, Combs sent D-Rock the same message he sent Mia, a screenshot, and told him it was the message he sent her. Quote, "I've been trying to reach her. She ain't picking up the phone." Then D-Rock tried to call Mia twice. So the prosecution, they were done with this witness, and the defense took over. Tina Geragos started her cross and read some messages in which Diddy reached out to Mia. The messages showed that D-Rock told Mia Combs wanted to speak with her and also told her that Combs did not want anything from her. Geragos read a message Combs sent to Mia on February 7th of 2024. It said, quote, "Hey, I don't want to be blowing up your phone, just need to talk to you for 10 minutes. And it was the same message that was read earlier by the prosecution. Geragos then confirmed with the witness that after that, D-Rock told Combs that Mia's number was ringing as if she was out of the country. She also confirmed there are no records that suggested Combs called Mia again after that. Geragos then pointed to a message exchange between Kristina Khorram and Jane around Valentine's Day of 2022. In one of the messages, Jane said, quote, "I'm excited to surprise him." Jane later sent Khorram photos of a hotel room decorated with rose petals and heart balloons. Geragos pointed to a text conversation between Kristina Khorram, Combs, and Jane. And in those messages, Khorram twice asked Jane to call her and said Combs was pushing her to figure out plans. Quote, "My answer to him is no, and it's still no." Jane responded to those messages. Khorram said she would let him know that and told Jane to keep her posted if anything changes. Geragos then highlighted a few messages from Fahim Muhammad to Kristina Khorram. In those messages, Muhammad asked for approval for a disbursement from PD Personal to pay for a variety of expenses, and PD is Puff Daddy. The jury then saw messages between Diddy and Kristina Khorram from November of 2023. Quote, "If you cannot be honest with me, this doesn't work. We all know what your kryptonite is and where you don't make the best choices." She said she felt like Combs was lying and said it wasn't sitting well with her. "Come take my phone," Combs wrote in response. Khorram responded that it wasn't about his phone. She said if he was starting to lie, that would break me. And with that, the defense rested with this witness and Sankar got off the stand. And Deleassa Penland then gets called to the stand by prosecutors. Now, Penland is a special agent with the U.S. Attorney's Office in the Southern District of New York, and Penland walked the jury through a summary chart that showed the date, location, attendees, and travel records related to several different meetings. One of those meetings was in December of 2009. It involved Diddy, Cassie, and a man at the London Hotel in New York City. Now, Ventura had previously testified the man often joined them for freak-offs. Penland then started reading aloud some of the messages between Combs and the man coordinating travel for the trip. Combs then sent an email to the personal finance director for his executive office. He said he needed a flight booked under the man's name. The finance director then sent back a flight itinerary. Penland said the man's flight itinerary was found in the records for Combs Global. Penland explained the flight records for the man and Ventura indicate they were both in the same city at the same time. The jury was then shown a travel invoice sent to Bad Boy Entertainment for a flight for Cassie Ventura from LA to New York City. This was on October 10th of 2012. Special Agent Deleassa Penland then read some messages between Ventura and Diddy on October 13th of 2012. Quote, "You ready for tonight?" Combs asked Cassie. Cassie responded yes, but she needed to get something. Combs then responded, "Man, you had all day. All day. It's always something." The jury then saw messages Cassie sent separately to two men discussing times to meet and giving them information for a hotel room in New York, and the invoice for that hotel room was reserved under the name Janet Clark, and it was paid in cash. One of the men texted Ventura in the early morning hours of October 14th, indicating he was in another room. The jury then saw the invoice for that room, which was reserved under the name Frank Black and paid for both in cash and with an Amex. Several videos recorded on October 14th were recovered from one of Cassie's devices, and the jury watched some of these videos, but the public was not able to see them, and these were freak-off videos, incidentally. The jury then saw text messages between Diddy and Cassie setting up a freak-off with four men in January of 2013 to, quote, "celebrate Christmas." Combs texted Ventura, want to celebrate Christmas and have a freak off tomorrow or Friday? Ventura texted with the man who runs an escort service to arrange for one escort and personally texted with others to set up staggered arrival times on January 11th and January 12th of 2013. One of the escorts texted Ventura, quote, "Hello, Star. This is Santiago. I hope we can do another I'm sorry, that name got me. This is Santiago. I hope we can do another voyeur encounter again, and I really want to do this again with you guys." And you would just expect a male escort to be named Santiago. I don't know. That one got me. The jury then saw text messages Cassie sent to a man called Dave. There's a contrast, right? On October 21st of 2013, asking him to come to the hotel room around 1 a.m. Dave texted her thanks, laugh out loud, around 8 a.m. the following day. Now, shortly before 8 a.m., Ventura texted yet another man, Daniel Phillip, asking him to wait a few more minutes. Then, on October 22nd of 2013, Ventura texted Combs, "You didn't film anything on your phone, right?" Combs responded, no way. And with that, the jury was dismissed for the day. They were out of time. And it's worth noting again, remember, I told you today, that jury actually saw video of these freak-offs. Now, previously, they had only seen still images and they heard audio of the encounters. This is the first time they've been shown video. The jury was actually shown clips from 3 videos created in October 2012, October 2014, and December of 2014, and they totaled just about 2 minutes in all. Jurors, the judge, and the witness all wore headphones. The lawyers were not shown the videos because the monitors are visible to the gallery, so they didn't want the people watching this trial to actually see them. And most of the jurors, while watching these, they remained stone-faced, and when the explicit video started playing, one female juror did put her hand over her eye. She had done this before, the same juror, when viewing pictures, and another juror appeared to wince while watching the videos, for what it's worth. And that was it for today. I'll be back with another update very, very soon. Thank you so much for listening. Check out the Patreon, commercial-free early releases, bonus episodes, even quarterly gifts for our top-tier Patreon members. Patreon.com/exposedpodcastfiles. Check out Crime Wire Weekly. Drops every Friday, features myself and true crime award-winning host Kelly Jennings of Unspeakable. We discuss the trending headlines throughout the week in true crime news, and we do our own individual commentary as only we can do it. So check that out. And until next time, for Exposed Scandalous Files of the Elite, I'm your host, Jim Chapman. Much love.
Having a life scholarship and being able to afford to go to college made me feel inspired to go.
When I got a life scholarship, it was such a relief.
I knew that I wanted to have an impact. Having a life scholarship through the SC Education Lottery was huge. It gave me the opportunity to make that impact right here at home.
The South Carolina Education Lottery. A better you, a better us, a better South Carolina. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
Hi, I'm Richard Karn, and you may have seen me on TV talking about the world's #1 expandable garden hose. Well, the brand new Pocket Hose Copperhead with Pocket Pivot is here, and it's a total game changer. Old-fashioned hoses get kinks and creases at the spigot, but the Copperhead's Pocket Pivot swivels 360 degrees for full water flow and freedom to water with ease all around your home. When you're all done, this rust-proof anti-burst hose shrinks back down to pocket size for effortless handling and tidy storage. Plus, your super light and ultra-durable Pocket Hose Copperhead is backed with a 10-year warranty. What could be better than that? I'll tell you what, an exciting radio-exclusive offer just for you. For a limited time, you can get a free Pocket Pivot and their 10-pattern sprayer with the purchase of any size Copperhead hose. Just text WATER to 64,000. That's WATER to 64,000 for your 2 free gifts with purchase. WATER to 64,000.
By texting 64000, you agree to receive recurring automated marketing messages from Pocket Host. Message and data rates may apply. No purchase required. Terms apply. Available at pockethost.com/terms.